There is perhaps no question in the history of human thought that has caused more sleepless nights, more tears, and more doubt than this one. If God is good, and if God is all-powerful, why is there so much suffering in the world? It is the question we ask when we turn on the news and see war. It is the question we scream at the ceiling when we lose a loved one to cancer. It is the question that haunts us in the quiet moments of our own pain. Philosophers call this the problem of pain, or the problem of evil. It is not just an intellectual puzzle, it is an emotional wound. If God is all-powerful, He could stop the pain. If God is all-loving, He would want to stop the pain. But the pain continues. Therefore, the skeptic says, God must be either not powerful enough to stop it, or not loving enough to care. To approach this massive topic, we have to step back and look at the story the Bible tells about the world. It does not give us a simple, one-sentence answer. Instead, it gives us a multi-layered perspective that changes how we view suffering itself. The first layer of the answer lies in the concept of free will. When God created humanity, He did not create robots. He created beings capable of love. But here is the catch. For love to be genuine, it must be free. You cannot force someone to love you. If you program a robot to say, "I love you," it is not love. It is code. For love to exist, there must be the option to reject love. There must be the option to say no. God took the ultimate risk. He gave humanity the dignity of freedom. And with that freedom, humanity chose to walk away. Much of the suffering in the world, war, crime, abuse, betrayal, is not caused by God. It is caused by humans abusing the gift of free will. To stop all this suffering, God would have to remove our freedom. He would have to stop us every time we thought of doing something selfish or hurtful. We would cease to be human. We would become puppets. God thought that a world with the potential for real love was worth the risk of a world with the potential for real pain. But that only explains human evil. What about natural disasters? What about earthquakes, tsunamis, and diseases? This brings us to the second layer, the brokenness of creation. The Bible teaches that when humanity rebelled, it didn't just break our relationship with God, it broke the fabric of the world itself. We live in a fallen world. It is like a beautiful mirror that has been shattered. You can still see the reflection of the original beauty, but it is jagged and dangerous. We are currently living in the gap between the way things were supposed to be and the way things will be one day. However, the Christian answer goes deeper than just free will and broken nature. It moves into the realm of purpose. The Bible suggests that God, in His infinite wisdom, can use suffering to produce things that comfort cannot. Think about the people you admire most in history or in your own life. Are they people who lived easy, pampered lives? Usually not. They are people who overcame adversity. They are people who were forged in the fire. We know instinctively that courage, resilience, compassion, and depth of character are often born out of struggle. C.S. Lewis, the famous author who wrote a book titled The Problem of Pain, famously said that God whispers to us in our pleasures, but shouts in our pain. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Pain has a way of waking us up. It shatters our illusion of self-sufficiency. It reminds us that we are fragile and that we need something bigger than ourselves. Many people testify that it was only in their darkest hour that they truly found God. It is a hard truth, but sometimes suffering is the tool God uses to perform surgery on our souls, removing the cancer of pride and selfishness. But there is one final layer to the Christian answer that sets it apart from every other religion and philosophy. In other worldviews, God is distant, watching the suffering from above. In Christianity, God comes down and joins us in it. This is the game changer. The answer to the problem of pain is not just a philosophical argument, it is a person. It is the cross. When we look at Jesus, we see God Himself entering into the darkest depths of human suffering. He was betrayed, abandoned, tortured, and killed. He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This means that whatever we are going through, we cannot say that God doesn't understand. We cannot say that God is indifferent. He has the scars to prove otherwise. He voluntarily took the weight of the world's pain onto His own shoulders. He did not just watch the suffering, He absorbed it. And because of the resurrection, we have hope. The Bible promises that suffering is not the end of the story. It is a chapter, a dark and terrible chapter, but it is not the last one. There is a promise that one day God will wipe away every tear. He will make all things new. The pain we feel now is not meaningless. It is producing a glory that outweighs it all. Imagine a tapestry. If you look at the back of a tapestry, it looks like a mess of tangled knots and chaotic threads. It makes no sense. It looks ugly. But if you turn it over, you see a beautiful, intricate picture. Right now, we are living on the back of the tapestry. We see the knots, we see the chaos, we see the pain. But God sees the front. He is weaving a picture that we cannot fully see yet. So, why does God allow suffering? Perhaps because He values our freedom enough to let us choose. Perhaps because He loves us enough to use pain to grow us. And perhaps because He has a plan to redeem it all in a way that will make the final victory even more beautiful. We may not have all the answers today, but we have a God who walks with us through the valley of the shadow of death, holding our hand until we reach the other side.